Kindness is another tool that you can use to improve your mental health. And I learned this from this free online course named The Science of Wellbeing. This instructor, like this professor, has made this course online talking about mental health. And she brought in this study which showed that people are actually happier if they spend money on others rather than themselves. So in this study, participants are given like $5 and they're instructed, okay, go spend it on yourself, go buy like a latte from Starbucks or something. Or another group of participants are given $5 and they're instructed, okay, go buy a gift for a friend, go buy a latte from Starbucks for their friend. And they found a way bigger happiness increase for the people who spent money on their friends. And we know this too, being kind and generous makes us feel good about ourselves. There's a very interesting conclusion that we can come to. There's literally a higher ROI, return on investment, to being generous with your money, your time, your compliments, than it is to be reserved. Like the money that you could spend on someone, and of course, it's all relative. So if you're in a different country, you don't have to spend the equivalent of $5. It was all relative to the country that you're in. So essentially, if you spent the equivalent of around 20 minutes of the minimum wage of your country on a friend, that would probably be able to get you like a coffee, a drink, a bottle of water or something like that. If you got that for a friend and said, oh, I've got this for you, you would feel happier about that than if you got it for yourself. And you can scale this up massively. So that study just spoke about, a small gift of like $5 buying a drink from Starbucks for someone. But you can be a very purposeful, work-driven young man and be quite charitable or do some kind of work that helps others. I personally have found one of the greatest mental health benefits for my own self from the work that I do for this YouTube channel. I spend quite a while, and of course, it's quite profitable for me, to increase my status. I feel good about the success that I've built, the income that I've got. But the work that I do here is very purposeful. And when I receive comments and messages and emails and voice notes, and when I had Instagram, I don't have Instagram anymore, but like when I did have Instagram, I would receive, honestly, 20 messages a day, direct messages of people just saying like, you've saved my life, you changed my life. Thank you so much for your videos, never stop uploading. That made me feel amazing about myself. Kindness and generosity is linked to this feeling of being needed. And that's so utterly important. And we don't really have that. Like we live in very weird, individualistic times. What I mean by individualistic is that we're all kind of like separate people and we no longer see ourselves as being part of like a tribe. Even in your country, your community, you don't really think like, oh yeah, well, this is my man. He's in the same country as me. That means we're on the same team. You don't really think that. We don't have tribes anymore. We're not really close-knit anymore. And religion was an amazing way of life for this because we felt like we were in the same tribe as everyone that we went to church with, and we don't have that. The majority of people aren't very religious these days. We don't really have like a sense of community that makes us feel important. And so for the majority of young men, perhaps a reason why you don't feel so great is because you kind of feel that if you disappeared, nothing would really happen. Of course, your parents, your family would be upset, your friend would be upset. But like in terms of the greater community, the majority of people wouldn't even realize if you just disappeared. And I know that seems really scary, it seems really dark to talk about, but that's something that, remember, we have to like kind of talk and sort of admit these things out loud and then aim to change them. If we bottle them up and if we don't express these thoughts of humility to ourselves where we discuss our weaknesses, our weak points, then we'll never make progress. We need to hold our hands up as young men and say, you know what? I'm not even involved in my community, that if I just left today, no one would even realize that I'm not even doing any purposeful work that's changing the world in any positive way. I'm just working some minimum wage job in like some place that I don't even care about. I'm not even helping anyone. There's none of my friends who really need me. It's so important that you become the kind of man who is needed. You become the kind of man who is doing such good work for other people that people need you. Because when you're needed, you can't help but feel this level of like security, abundance, happiness, fulfillment, freedom for yourself. When you're not needed, when you're just another like average guy who's working like, some job that doesn't really matter and you just spend your free time online, you're not really doing anything. It feels like life is a bit meaningless and pointless. And this is where symptoms of depression arise. And so consider being kind, consider being purposeful, consider being generous, consider doing things for other people, for helping them to such a good level that you will feel that you are needed, that you will feel that other people are relying on you. And even though that's a level of pressure and responsibility, it's a good thing. Men are built from responsibility. Men are built from pressure. So many young guys are just living life without responsibility. They just wake up, go to school, go to work, and then just come home and just spend all day online, and then they complain why they're depressed. You need to take responsibility for someone else to become a man. If you are not responsible for someone else right now, I hate to say it, but you are not a man, you're a guy, you're a boy. You turn into a man when you take the responsibility of other people. And interesting, like masculine things will happen to you when you take responsibility of other people. I couldn't grow a beard for most of my life. All the men in my family could grow a full beard at age 16 to 18. I'm age 21, still can't grow one. But then I started this YouTube channel. I started working for the other guys that I care about. I started being purposeful. I started leading a mission of young men improving themselves, and suddenly I can grow a glorious beard. You will become more masculine. You will feel more like a man. You will feel purposeful when you start helping others. The reason why I'm speaking with so much emotion and conviction right now is because I wish I could speak to younger Hamza. I wish I could tell him. He doesn't even realize this, but I wish I could tell him that he's quite selfish. And I don't say that as an insult. It's just an objective fact. He only cared about himself. True progress comes when you start thinking about other people. And what's interesting, when you think about helping someone else, you actually help yourself to such a greater level. It's so easy to think, oh, I don't have the capacity to help someone else. I don't have enough money to help someone else. What's interesting is that if you help someone else with their fitness, with their diet, your diet will automatically improve. If you start helping your fat friend lose weight, I guarantee your diet will improve more than you've ever seen it before, because now you're a leader and now you've got a responsibility to be a role model. We as men need some kind of self-transcending purpose. Transcending means bigger than us. We need a purpose, a mission, some work, some goals that is bigger than us, that involves helping other people. For the last 2 years, I've dedicated my life to what you see here. I make this joke quite often to my friends. I left the 9 to 5, the 9 to 5 rat race. I left the 9 to 5. Now I work 5 to 9. I wake up at 5 a.m. and I literally just work up until around 9 p.m. I can't stop. I don't want to stop. It's like my brain is so focused on this because I honestly feel like I'm changing the world with this work that I do. I feel like I'm saving hundreds of men, thousands of men. That makes me feel mentally happy. It makes me feel so important, and we need that kind of feeling. And you shouldn't belittle yourself right now and think, oh, well, Hamza can do it because he's got a YouTube channel, but I don't have one. I started with nothing as well. So ask yourself right now, in what ways can you be kind and generous to others? It can be as simple as buying like a bottle of water for your friend. It can be as simple as tipping a waitress, or it could be bigger. You could ask yourself, okay, what purposeful work could I dedicate my life to that would help other people? If you really want this guide to help you, perhaps just pause the video and really ask yourself that question. What purposeful work could I dedicate my life to which would help other people? Pause the video and really ask yourself that question, journal it. Write it down. What are ways that you can help your community, your tribe? Because when you help your tribe and you feel important, it's like you're aligned to like this natural, animalistic, social hierarchy aspect of ourselves. When you move up the social hierarchy of men, your status increases. You just begin to feel so much better. And you do that through a self-transcending purpose and being kind.